Can Mobe pull off the upset in Kingston? And can Cavalier defy the odds and make it to yet another final? We try to answer all this and more on this semi-final Leg 2 preview show. Yeah people, welcome back to JPL Fan, and we have one more round of fixtures to go before the Grand Super Final. And of course, that is the semi-final Leg 2 at Sabina Park in Kingston. We will briefly look at our 4 teams, preparations and what they possibly can do before this Sunday matches. Starting with Montego Bay taking on Mount Pleasant. Now, Mount Bay of course is coming into this match 1-0 down on aggregate, and I don't think Paul Teagat Davis will change his team style of play whatsoever. Expect the same possession style as what we've been used to seeing so far in the playoffs, as they will look to try to take down the mighty Mount Pleasant. Now, if you're watching closely in that first leg, they do have some issues with this style. One, you could say it's simple, they just need to quicken their tempo and get the passing flowing much better through the lines, but I think they struggle there because of one major factor. This Mobe team does likes to use a traditional number 10, and while Chanel Thomas is not exactly that traditional number 10, his characteristics gel Mobe attacking core better when he plays in that position. And of course he's injured and he's not expected to come back, but his replacement, Claudio Ferreira, hasn't exactly been working out in these last 2 matches. It would seem he, Weatherly, Gordon and Fletcher is simply not moving at the same pace, and I just don't see it changing in time for this match on Sunday. So it makes you wonder if Teagat Davis will be tempted to give Peter Lee Vassell his first start of the playoffs. It was never about talent but more about fitness, as Vassell has not played practically for 2 years. But this is now a do or die match, and maybe it's best to start with him and then sub him out towards the end of the game. The other issue that I see they're having is of course a left back. Hospitalis is one of the better players I feel in this team, but even he can't deny he had a real stinker in that first leg. Malachi Sterling is there waiting in the wings, but Davis might opt for experience and give Hospitalis another chance down the left. But apart from that, I think the rest of the team picks itself. I expect Johan Weatherly to keep his spot out there on the right. I expect Owen Gordon and Jordan Fletcher to try to lead the attack, and Demar Phillips and Lima to keep their partnership in the middle. Of course, they have to attack more Pleasant from the start of kickoff to try to get an early goal to calm their nerves and get more Bay playing at their tempo instead of the other way around. But what about Tapa and his team? Well, it depends on one major question. Is Dashawn Anglin available for this match? As you remembered, he had to be substituted very early in that first half in the first leg, and if he can't manage to go, I expect a midfield pairing and McCullough and Thomas in the middle of the park. But then that leaves question at the fullback positions. Does he keep Bailey at left back? And if he does so, does he prefer to play the left-footed Irving on the right hand side, or bring in a partner for Cummings in the middle and shift Ming back out to right back? It'll be interesting to see what he decides to do right there. The other big question I'm sure is weighing on top of his mind is what to do with Devontae Campbell. He was not really effective in that first game, and hence why you saw Daniel Green come into the match a bit earlier. He could opt to have Green start from the get-go this time, but you also like to believe this game will be more open, and there's no question that Devontae Campbell strive more in open spaces. As for the attacking line, I don't expect anything to change. I expect Edwards and Nelson to continue to lead the line and to keep Walsh as an emergency in his back pocket in case they need to find a goal from somewhere. In terms of how they would like to approach this game, I think they will attack Mobe from the very start to get that second goal to feel a lot more comfortable before they will just try to manage the game from there on out. But regardless of what happens, I expect a cracker, and in terms of predictions, I'm thinking Mount Pleasant will be winning this one 2-1 to get to yet another final on May 23rd. On to the Cavalier versus Arnett game, and this one is a bit more tricky. I will start with Arnett of course, and well, if you're a junglist, I got both good news and bad news to speak about. The bad news of course is that was a horrible display in that first half, in the first leg, and generally through the entire match, they weren't really at their best. But that also is the good news, is that without being at your best, you still manage to keep this tie alive and come back to Kingston on equal footing. Arnett is clearly at their best when they play their style of play, and they simply just have to have the confidence to go out there and execute. It does not mean that Xavier Gilbert don't have some headaches in terms of his selection. I will be dumbstruck if he decides to put the inexperienced Tyree Jones once again out there at right back to go up against Busy Atkinson, and I also don't believe it would be right to put the specialist centre midfielder Jamon Shepherd back there at right back to take on Busy. So I'm thinking it's best to put Ricardo Thomas there, especially since he's left-footed and Busy would like to cut in often on the inside. But then that leaves a gap on the other side of things in left back. Fernando Wing has been immense when he does play there, and I do believe that's his best position, but he has since struck up a good partnership with Joel Jones in the middle of the defense, and it's all about wondering, is it worth breaking that partnership? No. So again, major headaches for Gilbert and staff. They also have to wonder what's the right combination up front. They've been playing Fabian Reed and Warner Brown together towards the end of the stretch with varying results. In the second half of the first leg, we saw they drop Fabian Reed back deeper and have Warner Brown leading the line. While Fabian Reed is very capable of playing a number 10 position, he's not necessarily at his best right there. But they have to work out something, because I believe Shea Smith is a must pick. I'm still surprised he did not start that first leg. And I also believe that Jaheim Thomas need another chance in the middle of the park. So headaches all around for Xavier Gilbert. As for Cavalier and Rudolph Speed, I think things are much more easier for them because of the injuries and unavailability of some of the players. I think it's going to be the exact same team that trots out there to start the game. Unless Shaquille Stein is back to good fitness to at least start the match. But I believe the team that played that first leg did so well that they should have really won the game. So I believe Speed will once again give them the keys to the Ferrari to go out there and get them into another final. But I also believe if things don't work, he has to pull the trigger on substitutions much faster than what we have been seeing in the last couple of games. As for how they will approach this game, I thought they would be more defensive in that first leg, so I was surprised that they went for the kill. And with the form Dwayne Busy Atkinson finds himself in, I think the approach is the best one to do again right here. He's definitely playing up to the legend at the moment, so you just have to continue to feed that beast and watch him almost single-handedly win you the game and get it into the final. But as I said before, Rudolph Speed is a hard coach to read, so I'm very curious to see what will happen in this match again. As for prediction, I see another 1-1 draw coming and I see another extra time coming. But after that, I honestly can't tell you who will eventually win out and get to the final. But regardless, it should be a cracker when you kick off the game at 8 p.m. at Sabina Park. But anyway guys, that is all I got for this last preview of the semi-finals before we get to, well, the super finals. Thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe and share as we wrap up the semi-final and look towards the final on May 23rd. Otherwise, for great JPL content, you're already at the right place. JPL fan. YouTube, big up yourself.